Thompson.
Thank you,
Ms.
thank you, thank
Thompson
you.
is going to be telling us that you wrote a book, right?
I did.
Wonderful.
I did. So,
She wrote the book.
Yeah. Yes, I wrote the book.
And how long have you been serving?
It will be 22 years in December, so I am actually getting ready to retire.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is
Thank you
wonderful.
so much.
Absolutely.
So to give you just a little bit of background, I have an affinity for Gen Z. I don't have any children of my own, but I have about 11 godchildren. And they're all between the ages of about 16, and one is getting ready to turn 24 in June. So I am getting ready to transition out of the military. I will retire in December. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life when I grow up. And this passion of mine for leadership is something that I have served with for a long time in the military. And it's not something that I wanted to give up, but it's something I wanted to continue on. But I wanted to do it in a beneficial way for the next generation. So I started doing some research in reference to what our kids are going to be facing in the job market over the course of the next 4 to 5 years. So this is not a 20-year outlook. This is not something that's way off in the distance. This is something that is going to impact them immediately upon graduation. And I'm going to tell you right out front, these first couple of slides, I'm going to take the wind out of you a little bit because I'm going to ground you in reality as to what it is that our kids are about to face when they graduate. And then I'm going to give you a little bit of that energy back because I've got a blueprint and I've got marching orders to help them kind of set themselves apart from the rest of the community that is going to be out seeking and searching for these same jobs around the same time frame. So Vanna, if you would, thank you so very much. All right, so again, like I said, I want to be real with everyone. I'm not here for motivation. The kids are going to get a lot of you can do it and all these types of things when they graduate. And that's awesome. They need that motivation. They need that support. I can be a motivational speaker, but today that is not my job. Today, my job is to, again, ground you in reality. And the reality is the competition when they graduate from college is going to be ferocious. The college experience is pumping more and more kids out into the workforce, but there are fewer and fewer positions for them to actually take at the quote unquote entry level, right? The expectations are higher at the entry level. And I say entry level because the entry level is not the same entry level that we remember when we came into the workforce. Entry level back in our day kind of meant almost like internship, where it's teaching and training and all those types of things. Employers now expect them to have 2-3 years of experience when they come into these entry level positions. And the question is, well, where do I get 2 to 3 years of experience if I'm just graduating from college? Like, I need the job to get the experience. I need the experience to get the job. It's like this do loop. Well, again, I'm kind of taking some of the wind out of you, but I do plan on giving it back to you, I promise. Slower hiring processes. Because employers are now scrutinizing the individuals that they actually hire and requiring more of them, they're being more deliberate about their hiring processes. So that can cause some frustration for some of these kids that are getting ready to come out of college because they're going to 1, 2, 3, even 4 interviews before they're being provided an offer, because companies, again, are being more deliberate about who they are hiring and they're taking their time. Mom, if you would, please. So the market's not disappearing, which is a good thing, but they are becoming more selective. That is a problem that we can actually address, right? If there weren't any jobs, we'd kind of be out on a limb. But because they're simply being more selective, I can help them kind of understand how to set themselves apart. Mom. So this is when there were kids in the room. So ask the one we have. Sweetie, have you applied for any of your first jobs yet, or any internships or anything like that? You have. Internships or jobs? Jobs. And what have you applied for thus far?
Cashier or retail.
Okay. All right. Do you know, you said you want to be a veterinarian, right? That's what I understood? Okay, awesome. You know what? You're actually going into one of those fields that may be a little bit more guarded from the AI transition than others, right? So those hands-on type fields that mechanics can't do right now, that it can't be engineered right now. So you are on a wonderful glide path, but I am going to have some advice for you as well, okay? Next slide, please. All right, so hardest job to get is going to be their first job. Just like we kind of explained, the fewer true entry-level positions. And as I explained before, entry-level does not mean the same thing it meant to us when we graduated from high school, when we graduated from college. More applicants and fewer openings. So again, although AI is not necessarily replacing people in jobs, What it is doing is it's replacing those very rudimentary jobs that are redundant, right? So those data entry positions, things of that nature, things that we used to cut our teeth on in order to actually get into the organization and then kind of work your way up. Well, those positions that used to be considered entry level are now going away. So the new entry level now requires that they have experience. Now, what this is causing for some of our kids who are just now graduating and going out into the market and really getting firsthand knowledge of this is it's causing a delay in their career progression because they can't seem to get in. They can't break that initial barrier. And why is that? Because again, they're lacking the experience that these hiring managers are now looking for. They went all the way through college. They made amazing grades. They graduated, got the degree. But unfortunately, that degree is just not enough anymore. Mom, next slide, please. All right, so internships. I brought up internships because internships nowadays are like the new extended hiring process, right? It's one of the ways to get into an organization and not have any experience. It's also one of the ways to go about getting experience, okay? So internships at this point, no longer optional, right? It's mandatory. So for kids who are looking to garner experience before they actually get jobs, internships is definitely one of those ways of going about doing that. And I will definitely tell you a few other ways as well. I will also tell you that summer internships they're typically taking in applications between the time frame of like October, November timeframe for summer internships. So if you haven't gotten that summer internship yet, it's probably a little late for that this year, but please look into it next year. It is critical. My next slide. Entry level, like I said, doesn't mean entry level any longer. Entry level basically means they're looking for someone whom they can trust to come in and do the job that they're hiring you to do. They are hiring our young adults to solve a problem that they have within their organization. They are not hiring them because they need a job. It's just not the way it works anymore. And again, the degree is amazing. Education is absolutely critical as well, but it's not enough to get them in the door. It does not stand alone. It's the education plus the experience. And then communication skills. Communication skills is going to be something else that we discuss that is going to be absolutely critical for them to be able to articulate the actual experience that they have. Next slide, Ma. And like I said before, AI didn't take our jobs, right? AI has started to baseline some of the things that are fundamental and routine. We're now looking for people who can think. If it doesn't take thought, then we don't really need a human being to do it. And that's the way these companies are looking at it, okay? If a computer can do it, why should I pay a human to do it? So we have to then increase our capabilities to then serve as a team leader who then manages all of these computers and whatnot. So learning AI is going to be absolutely critical for our young adults as well, because they have to be able to utilize the tools that are going to be necessary in whatever line of work that they're getting ready to go into in order to do that work faster, because that is also the expectation of our employers. They know now that AI can do what used to take 3 weeks in 3 hours. If you're not learning that tool, then you are of no use to them. You are a hindrance and not an asset. Okay, next. Networking. So this is something that is oftentimes very difficult for our kids because a lot of our kids have this very demure, very meek, unless they're with their friends, they really don't want to talk to people type of personality, right? You got to come out of your shell, because 70 to 80% of the jobs that are being filled by way of networks, people who are vouching for you. Because again, the employers are looking for individuals that they can trust. And they take somebody's referral, somebody within the organization, they'll take that referral over 100 just random applications that come in. So you have to kind of weigh that. You have 100 applications sitting on your desk, or you have somebody who you've worked with for 20 years who comes in and says, I have the perfect person for this job. Who's getting hired? You see what I'm saying? So we have to get our kids out there and put them in places where they can network. One of the ways that we do that is we kind of understand or get an understanding of what it is that they want to do, right? And then we use our network. We're the grownups. right? We use our network to put them in front of people, not to ask them for jobs or any of that. We're asking them for mentorship. We're asking them to spend 10 minutes with our child talking to them about the job that they do. What were some of the hardships they went through? What were some of the trials they went through? What were some of the classes that they took in order to prepare themselves for that particular job? What are some of the potholes they should avoid, right? What you're doing is you're creating a relationship with someone who has access and placement. So when that person hears about an internship that's coming available, who do they now think to call? They think to call the young lady or the young man who took the time to sit down and ask them questions over coffee, right? This individual is now invested in you and they're invested in your success. So that continues forward, right? When they hear about a job opening that you might be good for, they already know your job ethics. They know how well you work because they've watched you through the internship. You've come back to them and asked them questions and they've developed a relationship with you. We're looking to expand our network, right? We want to expand the number of people who are going to vouch for us. So you go to your churches, you go to these groups, you talk to people around you, find out who's doing what you want to do, and ask to speak to them. I'm not asking you for a job. I'm not being creepy. Will you be my mentor? No. Just asking, can you spend 5 to 10 minutes with me and kind of talk to me about what it is that you do and what got you interested in it, right? And we're developing relationships. We're building a network. We're building people who can vouch for our trustworthiness, our responsibility, our reliability, all of those things. Next slide. So, you know what you're up against. Kind of took the air out of the room. So now I'm going to put it back. Next slide. This is the formula. So for I want you to do me a favor. I want you to take a picture of this. Okay. There's another slide I'm going to want you to take a picture of as well. But this is the baseline. Okay. These are the 3 pillars for what it's going to take to be successful in this job market. Okay. The first thing is mentorship. Mentorship, like we just discussed, is access. These are individuals who have access and placement to the places you're trying to get to. You build a relationship with these individuals, and then you hope and pray that they invest in you and they're invested in your future, and they introduce you to other people. That's how your network continues to expand, right? Leadership. Leadership is composed of a few different things, but it all boils down to trust. They need to be able to trust that you can communicate. They need to be able to trust that you are reliable. They need to be able to trust that you are dependable. All of these things, right? The last piece is experience. Experience is proof. Experience is proof that you can actually do the job that they are hiring you to do. Again, they're hiring you to solve a problem. They are not hiring you simply because you need a job and a paycheck. They don't care. They want you to be able to come into their organization and solve whatever problem they've hired you to solve. And they want you to sit at the interview table and provide them with a portfolio of experience that proves that you can, in fact, do that before we hire you. Okay? So access, trust, proof equals opportunity. Okay? Next. So we've already talked about the mentorship piece a little bit, opening doors. The other thing it does is it builds confidence. Okay? When it comes time for you to go and do an interview, it does something to your spirit when someone who is already senior ranking within the realms of what you're trying to do has looked at you and said, you remind me of myself. And you can do this. You can do X, you can do Y, you can do anything that you want to do because you have something in you that I think is going to be beneficial to this particular trade. And I know this because I've been in this trade for 20 years. That boosts your confidence, right? Like such and such said, I'm golden. Like I'm good. So that's one aspect of it. It accelerates learning. What will take some people 10 years to learn, you will learn in 15 minutes because you went to the bed of knowledge and asked very specific questions. Whereas other people are going to go out and they're going to try it. They're going to fail. They're going to try something else. They're going to fail. You bypassed all of that and went straight to the golden goose and said, what works? Bet. Cool. I'll do that. And then you go out and you try it. If it doesn't work exactly the way they said, this is where you come back, because this is where the relationship builds. Mentors want to hear about what you've done, what you've tried, the information and the suggestions that they've given you. They want to hear, did you try it? Did it work? No? Talk to me about it. What did you do exactly? All right, next time, go back and do this. Turn this to blue, this to red, spin it around on its head. It should be fine this time, right? That's the purpose of a mentor. That's the acceleration process that will put you ahead of your peers. When your peers are going into interviews and trying to figure out what the answers are to these questions, and you already know, as if you've been sitting in the boardroom with them for the past 5 years, because you kind of have. Next slide. Leadership, communication, reliability, initiative. Communication is absolutely critical when it comes to leadership. You cannot lead if you cannot tell the people around you what you need done. You cannot lead if you cannot express your ideas. So learning to communicate. EQ is another aspect of that. EQ is your emotional intelligence. EQ is your ability to understand your own responses and how other individuals respond to you. I acknowledge that when I am excited or when I am angry, my voice escalates. Mom may say I yell a little bit. I start to cut my words, right? Now, unfortunately, my anger and my excitement sometimes look very similar. Well, I can't lead effectively if I don't know that. If I don't know that when I'm speaking to my soldiers and I'm excited about something that's going on, they think I'm angry. And now they're just like, dude, what is the BC pissed off about? I'm not angry. I'm excited. Like, this is great. Well, you should have wore a t-shirt that said it, because your facial expressions and everything else did not give that off, right? So that's part of it. That's part of the communication skills that our kids are going to have to learn in order to be successful, again, in this market. Reliability, showing up, doing the things that they know they're supposed to be doing. The initiative part rolls into that as well. Don't have to be told and asked. You know that something needs to happen. Employers are looking for that type of maturity that says, I don't need to micromanage you. I can, in the words of the military, fire and forget. This is the task. I know that this individual is responsible enough and has the initiative to go forth, do what needs to be done. And if they come up to a roadblock, they will try to go through it. And if they can't, they'll come back to me for guidance and then go right back at it again. This is what employers are looking for. This is the maturity that we're going to have to start to develop in our young adults. Next, experience. So again, we talked about internships, getting them the experience. There's some other ways of doing this as well. I like this one, side hustles. This is my side hustle. I am an active duty Army officer. I am getting ready to transition out into the real world. I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I know I wanted to do something that had to do with leadership. But at the same token, my leadership in the military looks a little bit different than the leadership in the civilian world. So I need to garner some type of experience that shows would-be employers that she knows how to translate that leadership skill from a military format to a civilian format. That's what all of this is for me, right? For our kids, what are you interested in doing? If you're interested in graphic designs and things of that nature, if you go out and you build a website for your aunt's hair salon, that's a side hustle and it's experience. It shows that you've done this creative type of work, right? You start your own business, regardless of how small it may be. You started a business, you did the financial aspect of it, you did its marketing, this, that, that's experience, right? You just need to figure out early, that's the key, figuring out early what it is that you want to do, so that you can align your side hustles, you can align your volunteer work, you can align your internships with whatever the ultimate goal is. So while everybody else is out here just kind of random spray painting experience across the world, well, I worked at Walmart over here, and then I worked at such and such over here, and then but how did it all tie into what you're trying to do? So when you graduate from college, you're going to ultimately be starting from scratch again, because your experience looks very similar to the random experience of everyone else out there, right? Real work, like I said, volunteering, freelancing, all of those great things. Again, trying to marry them up with the trajectory that you're already on. Next slide. All right. So this would again been the question for my kids, but I will ask you guys, in your own opinion of your children, your grandchildren, what do you think is their biggest gap right now? Where do you think that they should be focusing most of their attention? All of the above. I get
I
that.
don't say that it's out enough, to where the mentorship, like I personally think sometimes going to a church or just getting out, which she's like, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? And I'm like, well, church is a good thing, but it's just not something she's wanting to do right now. But where do they go for that mentorship?
Mm-hmm.
Then leadership, she's still working on that. Got a little bit there, whatever. And experience, of course, she's working on that. But
Right.
it's kind of tough. It's like you go to these different jobs, and well, like one time it might be that something just didn't work out and she left or whatever. Or another time it's a job where they've run out of money, funds,
Mm-hmm.
and have to let her go.
Right.
And now, and it's like I always worry too about the constant job hopping because I knew when I grew up, it was like if you stick with one, be loyal, it shows that well. I don't know how important that is anymore.
Right now, more so than the loyalty piece, it's more, again, the trajectory and ensuring that, does she know what she wants to do? We've got to start to figure that out, because at the point of graduating from college or whatever the case may be, again, if you have no idea where you're trying to go, that means that you haven't started building the portfolio to support it, which means that when you go to these interviews, once you finally figure it out, they're going to look at you and say, come back when you have experience. So now it pushes your timeline back a little bit. Right.
Which
Yes.
was it access that was the piece that communication falls under?
No, access is the mentorship.
Which one would the communication?
Trust.
I think that's what I see a big thing right now with
Mhm.
kids is the lack of the communication. Like you said,
Mhm.
when they're with their friends and then they have this whole made up new language that I'm like, what are you saying? So I for me in working with within schools and working with children, I think the biggest gap right now that I'm seeing is that trust, that communication.
Right. And unfortunately,
Definitely.
yeah. And unfortunately, these are not things that school teaches them.
Mm-mm.
It's not something that school teaches them. So it's definitely something that they have to find outside of school in leadership programs, things of that nature. And then given opportunities to serve in leadership positions, volunteering in leadership positions. Again, if you start your own business and you're required to go out here and market for yourself, if you want to make money, then you're going to get up in front of people and you're going to speak. If they can't understand what you're asking them to do, you're going to fail. So let's practice your pitch. Let's sit down and let's rehearse the things that you need to say and the manner in which you need to say it. And we're also going to rehearse basically just your body language when you approach someone, because this timid thing that y'all do is not going to get you anywhere. Okay. It's you have to open up, open your chest, open your mouth, all of the above, right?
My daughter got my granddaughter a job. My daughter was human resources.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she does now.
Mm-hmm.
And the first job she got her, my granddaughter wanted to go to a funeral company when she got back on Friday because my daughter called Red Cross. She said, "You're fired." But you fired me. So she got her another job, and she's been with this job now. Oh God, she's 24. She's been the global top employee of the year.
Excellent.
She is 20. She's 24 now, and she is the head manager of 3 departments in the company.
Excellent.
And she works like my daughter. My daughter's the same way. But she's having a problem communicating to the ones under her because she's so young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that being an
And
issue.
she's been given, the company has given her, she's got a degree in electronics, hydraulics, and now she's getting one in welding.
Mhm.
They're paying for it because they love her experiences. She's there early, she stays late,
Right.
she's right on it. And I am so proud of her.
So I will tell you that I can empathize with her, especially as an Army officer. So we come in at 21, 22 years old as second lieutenants, first lieutenants. We're officers, which by nature of the rank structure places us in a higher role than basically all of your enlisted personnel. So as a company commander, a brand new captain at 25, 26 years old, I had sergeant first classes and whatnot in my company who were in their 40s and had to listen to not just a woman, but a young woman at that, right?
Yeah.
So I can definitely empathize with it. The military is a little bit different because the rank structure makes it very, very straightforward. You will or you won't. It's very simple. But it is going to take a great deal of communication and effort for someone of such a junior age to really get through to individuals who think they know best because they've been here for 20 or 30 years. So coming in and trying to change a lot of things may be very difficult for them to understand and trying to, kind of jump on board with initially. But I think little by little in stages, progressively, having conversations and making sure that their input is taken seriously in any changes that take place. Sitting down and honestly and earnestly listening to their feedback, making them feel like they're involved and they're a part of the change will probably help her a lot. Yeah. All right. Any other questions or ideas on this slide? Cool. Next. All right. This is another one I want you to take a picture of. All right. So this is the blueprint that I was telling you guys about. It's very simplistic. It's telling you basically what these kids need to do over the course of their 4 years in college in order to be prepared and have a documented experience portfolio when they actually graduate. So their freshman year, this is that opportunity for you to start exploring your interests and figuring out what it is that you really want to do. Try some new things, right? If something sticks, go find a mentor in that particular arena and join an organization in that arena. Sophomore year, this is when you're going to try to do your first internship. This is also where you're going to start your LinkedIn page. All these kids have TikTok and Instagram, and I don't know if y'all do Facebook anymore, but whatever. LinkedIn is your professional social media, okay? That is the platform that lets you market on behalf of yourself. It's the thing that lets you present yourself to employers. People are going to, or employers are going to go to your LinkedIn page and they're going to scroll through all the things on your LinkedIn page. They want to see if you're thinking like a leader, the things that you post, the questions that you ask, the engagements that you have. All of this is serving as marketing for you. And then your junior year, this is where you really start to network. This is when you're going to start building your portfolio and start working on those competitive internships. Again, this whole time, you're building your portfolio, you're building your experience. Then your senior year, this is where you're going to start going on that full-time search, right? When you graduate, you're going to then go and you're going to sit in front of an employer and you're going to convert all of the experiences that you garnered over the past 3 to 4 years into a portfolio that says, although I am just graduating from college, these are all the things that I've done and I've been able to accomplish to show you and prove to you that I am ready for the position that you're hiring for. And that is going to put you light years ahead of every other college senior who's graduating and just used college for school. Yes, ma'am.
Do we need to look at, but not we, me.
I know you don't have any. Yeah.
But our students need to clean up maybe their social media if they've been posting some crazy stuff on there. If LinkedIn is going to be their portfolio for what other employers look at.
There are employers that will go out and they will serve your social media. So obviously when you grow up, it's time to grow up. It's that simple. So yes, it would be a suggestion that when you are ready to truly, go into the employment field, start cleaning up all of your social media. Your LinkedIn is pivotal because your LinkedIn is going to be attached to your resume. It's going to also be attached to your actual experience, right? So post about things that show where your experience resides and how you got experience. And hopefully you can get your mentors and your network to start posting on your page as well, saying, yeah, this person did an excellent job and worked for me for this, blah, 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 blah. Again, all of the recommendations and the vouching, it serves as trust. It helps employers trust that you can do the job that they're hiring you to do because you did it for somebody else. And they're actually getting on here and vouch for you.
So what is the importance of joining an organization? Is that like free?
Leadership. It's free leadership training. So you're not going to just join an organization. You're not going to just join the church and sit in the pews, right? You're going to join the usher board. You're going to join the choir. You're going to become a leader in whatever one of the ministries that you join, right? It's leadership experience. It is now putting you in a position where you have to coordinate, you have to build, you have to communicate in order to get things done.
But even outside the church, there's other organizations that you can get all of the same things.
Yeah, yes, I'm just using the church as an example. Yes, mother. Yes. So sororities, church athletic groups, anything where there is a structured organization, where there is I don't want to call it a chain of command, but where there is an identified leadership and there's structure underneath that. So you were the treasurer or you were the administration, whatever the case may be. This is all free training and it's all free experience. Like the Optimist Club. Yes. All right, next. Hit the button, mommy. All right, so to wrap it all up, your career doesn't start when you get the job. It starts when you start preparing for it, and you need to start preparing for it now. Okay? Next. All right, and this is my plug. So everything that I've just talked to you guys about, I wrote about in my book. I talk about specifically those 3 pillars: mentorship, leadership, and real world experience. Those are the 3 pillars that everything comes back to. In the book, I also have given a number of just scripts. Like, I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for Gen Z for reaching out to mentors. So I've given you kind of some one-off scripts to email to mentors. I've given you some key words and phrases and adjectives to use in your resume, a resume outline. All of those things are found in the book. So if you have any more questions, or if you'd like to dig deeper into the things that we've talked about today, the book is definitely a good place to start. Any questions for me?
Where do you get the book?
Right behind you. I will make sure you get one. Yes, ma'am. Any of it?
I'm going to tell you about my granddaughter.
Yes, ma'am.
Who got a scholarship last year. So when she lived in Australia for the first 14 years of her life.
Lucky her.
And in Australia, she was with Scouts. And she noticed that there's a problem with water in Australia. It doesn't come, or it's too much, or whatever. So she decided she's going to be an engineer and work with water. So her senior year, she got a job with Dow Corning during half day, and then she went to Duke, and Duke put out an application for going to Bolivia to build a bridge. So she filled it out, and Rosalie said, "You're a freshman, you're never going to get it." Well, she got it.
Oh, wow.
So she is now in Bolivia building a bridge. So she has
hit every one of these. And when she comes back and she graduates and she's ready, entry level is not where they're going to put her. Absolutely not, because she definitely has the skills, but we also need to ensure that she has the ability to communicate those skills, communicate the experiences that she's had and how they will prove beneficial to whatever organization it is that she's going into.
She's not shy. She's just like this.
Well, then she is going to do remarkable things in the future.
That's good.
Absolutely.
This was wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Any other questions?
How much is your book?
The books are $24.95. You can actually go online right now as we're speaking, and you go to booklyndsey.com and you can order it on there, and I can sign a copy for you before you leave.
I can't just say.
Or you can pay here, either way. Either way. Yeah, either way. Yeah, either way. I try to make it as simple as possible, people, but either way. Any other questions?
And if we want you to speak at another club, I want your phone number,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
because I'm just like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your only website, thebooklyndsey.com?
Yes. Yes, that is my only website. You can find it on Amazon as well. I typically will send people to my website just because there are also additional resources and whatnot on my website. So, any other questions? All right, well then I will get out of your way. Thank you guys so much. You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
I want to go.
Yes, ma'am.